Hi everybody, welcome back to Gabriel Night 3. I'm here with Retro Kaiser again.
Ahoy, hoy.
For real this time.
How many have pillaged the house?
Yep.
Yeah.
High on lemonade.
Oh yeah. I was just saying for real this time because there was that one episode of The Broken Sword, Let's Play with Dorobka, where I accidentally introduced Dorobka as you.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Nice to see I make such an impact on both of your lives.
Oh yeah. I just love it that Sean completely rolled with it for a little while.
I love how you keep using that picture from my channel introduction. I'm like, oh shit!
Oh yeah, it's such a good picture. Okay, so this time around we're going to finally finish deciphering Le Serpent Rouge, and we're also going to get to the bottom of the manuscript kidnapping. I mean, the
King
manuscript
Solomon.
abduction. Those both sound wrong. What's the proper term? Theft. Yeah, the theft of the manuscript, I suppose.
Yeah. King Solomon, the rejected Mega Man bad guy.
What? What?
Solo Man.
Oh. Man, that took forever.
There's the pizza.
There's the pizza. Yeah, can you imagine somebody cutting a pizza like this? All little bits and pieces there.
I'll take the giant hexagon in the middle. Even though that's supposed to be like, one of the little tables that you see in the middle of the pizzas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, we completely ignored the riddle, by the way. So we finally came to the red serpent bit, and it's referring to a landmark. That's what Grace actually said. And so we noticed that there's this.
That's the red serpent.
This weird.
That's weird. It must point out something.
River, or maybe just like a cliff.
I want to take a break from Le Serpent Rouge for a
Yes. And that's actually my sign that we've uncovered all the remaining
I am aware of the
ciphers, and this is the last one. It just says that we have to go down in the cave, basically.
Cursing the profane in their ashes and those who follow their ways.
Oh, and you will notice the first half of this episode is going to be the good graphics again, and then we're going to switch over to the software graphics again at the end.
Yeah. Is that the cave where Grace refuses to go in? That
Yes.
old moist hole?
Yes, exactly. Big surprise that once we go down there, we'll get into the final act of the game.
Do not add or take away one iota.
I love what you did in the previous part when I kept on saying moist hole. You did that so Catholic, Greg.
Well, it was appropriate because the words were most holy, but you read it as moist hole, so that kind of in my mind like, oh great, we got another variant on the freaking so Catholic meme or joke, trope, running gag, what do you want to call it?
Guess my little secret is
Blah.
Is Gabriel?
I did one for
yeah, he wanted me to come
for Dorobka again. I don't remember if you remember when we had that little talk about this Satanism. I don't know if you remember that one. That was great.
Good old Santa. Santa.
Santanism. The belief in Santa Claus. That's great. Okay, I don't want to talk over this because this is honestly one of my favorite scenes in the game.
Just a minute.
We're gonna confront all the scumbags in the hotel dining.
All right, fun time's over. I want to know what's going on.
Wouldn't be a mystery without a scene like this.
I have no idea what you mean.
No, I.
Then let me give you a clue. Earlier today, I had a certain unpublished manuscript in my room. Someone took that manuscript, and that someone was
And this is where you actually get to pick
Mosley.
and show whether or not you actually solve the mystery.
Shortly afterwards, it was stolen from the
I love how one of the options is just question mark. The Riddler did it.
Madeline Booth.
Yeah?
The second thief couldn't hold on to it either. It was stolen for the third time by Vittorio Buccelli.
And this part you probably figured out by yourself
Thief
easily.
disposed of it by
Mm-hmm.
burying it.
Really?
Yep.
But this is slanderous. You cannot prove a word.
And this is the point where you have to...
Yeah. He can prove it.
The fingerprints
Every
came in.
one of you left prints.
Santacello.
Merde. I admit it. I did take the manuscript, but I didn't do it for my own personal gain or anything. I'm CIA.
Aha! That explains it.
Outrageous!
God, Mose. Congrats.
Thanks.
Coming out as the
That was a
CIA.
good thing.
Yeah.
What's your excuse?
I do not know what you mean.
Don't you? Let's consider the fact that you have way too much equipment for a tour guide.
Technically minded.
And
Oh.
lethal. My guess is French Internal Secret Service.
You are much too smart.
Well, he was referring to the gun, but
Oh,
you know,
you,
for
Signore?
some reason, my mind
What
went to
should
the
I
other
call
place.
you? Father.
It is not illegal for a priest to travel without a collar.
Oh, but you're not just a priest, are you? You came on a train from Rome, yet you lied. You said it was Naples. Why tell such a pointless fabrication unless you were hiding something? Like the fact that you're with the Vatican.
That is not a crime either.
But stealing manuscripts is.
Perhaps it is time for you to reveal your secrets, Gabriel.
Ooh.
Sure. I'm a private investigator. I'm here about the kidnapping of Prince James of Albany's infant son.
James Stewart's son has been kidnapped?
When did this happen?
You really didn't know? Either of you?
No.
Certamente no. I came only to report on any activity in the area. The Vatican feels that there are certain subversive parties who are trying to fabricate stories. Perhaps even go so far as to stage certain finds. Plant material. Naturally, the church is anxious that anything of the sort be prevented and exposed.
Perhaps you are right, Signore. But we believe that there is something buried near Rennes-le-Château.
That's why you were given this assignment?
I have been watching Rennes-le-Château for a few years now. There are certain political interests involved. Interests which might not be working for the long-term stability of the present French government. Besides, if there is an archaeological discovery to be made here, such findings should be controlled by the French authorities.
This is also official, but once Mosley starts telling his story,
I
like,
thought you needed excavation permits to do any
he just the way he presents it just sounds so funny to me again.
Parties have applied for permits. We can only deny them for so long.
Mose?
The CIA thinks there's something going on over here with the Freemasons, the Priory, and the Knights of Malta. You name it. We've got to make sure our interests are being protected. You know, the good old US of A. Well, they sent me on a tour as a kind of an audition, I guess. They didn't want anybody with legit CIA credentials. You know, anyone.
I hate that
But I'll
animation
probably be
bug. His
starting
hand keeps
full-time
going
when I
into his
get
other
back.
arm.
And the digging, monsieur?
Oh, intelligence got that tip from somewhere. I was just supposed to, you know, check it out.
So it was
Yeah,
the
when he was
CIA
digging in
who
the middle of the night.
infiltrated our computer system. We thought it was the Priori. It is not the first theory we have had, I am afraid. Our cipher experts work on it when they can, and it appears this was another failed attempt. Right, monsieur?
I sure didn't find anything.
And now we can go, yes? I assume you have not found your...
I love how everybody was all undercover from something.
Yeah, that's the whole point of that, collecting the fingerprints, keeping tabs on everybody. So, because this is a part of the game where you're gonna miss out on a lot of the backstory if you didn't do all that like undercover stuff. And there's a couple of things even after this where you will not get to talk to characters about certain things unless you get all the fingerprints and everything. Oh, this is a funny line that's coming up right here.
And I always thought the idea of chastity belts was cruel and sexist. I finally get it.
I definitely invented one strong enough for Madeline. Thanks for finding the manuscript. Where
Maybe they
was
need
it?
one from Everlast.
Kelly buried
But
him
I'm
out in the
dish.
valley. I saw his moped from Blanchard.
You remember the?
Good job, Grace.
Do you remember the men in
As
tights?
usual.
Prince James is at the Philip
Maid Marian's,
He wants
yeah.
to see you.
Chastity belt.
And there's some real progress on the treasure.
Yep, he ended up getting the wrong key for it.
I'll
Yeah.
come up later, okay?
No, it was Rodstead's shot. That was the joke at the very end. Because she paid with it. You can actually see a little bit of Grace's belly with that t-shirt as well. Sorry. Okay, right around here somewhere, the game's gonna switch over to software graphics.
Ooh, let's see.
I think it's...
How's life, Jean?
Monsieur does not wish to know.
I love these completely random, pointless things you can ask Jean. Oh yeah, so remember...
Ooh, is that a black sedan?
James's car.
No, that's Prince James's car, and that's Larry's car, remember?
Larry's here.
We are going to see the black sedan very soon, though. Not in this part, but very soon. But...
It's our best bud.
Oh, yeah.
Your pal and mine, Mr. Priory of Sion.
Yes, so this is the one and only part
Excuse
in
me,
the
Mr.
story
Arnaud.
where Abbe Arnaud is at all important. So this is the conversation I think I mentioned earlier. Oh yeah, I think we are already on software graphics, so...
Hello, Mr. Knight.
So, now we confront him about the
I've been
Priory of
meaning
Sion.
to ask you something.
And what
I love how he's holding his belly.
I've been
It's
meaning
like
to
he's
ask you
expecting
about
or
your
something.
association with the Priory of Sion.
Where did you hear such a thing?
Prince James's men? See, I'm working for Prince James. I came here to see about the kidnapping myself.
I see. Well, I'm not really
What
surprised.
is up with his fingers there? They look like both his hands just merge into one
Yeah,
white blob.
that's the thing with the software graphics, is that there's not as much definition as the... So the little details like the hands, they get merged very easily.
And tell me, what sort of things would...
And
the
you notice how his
Priory
shirt is now
I
like
have
super
nothing to say
white?
to You about the Priory, Mr. Knight.
I also
But whatever
noticed,
you hear from Prince
only in the
James,
last part,
remember,
I noticed that
it
I
is
had the
their
texture
side of
quality
the
set to
story.
the like medium. So actually, the textures, even in software graphics, they could have been a little better.
Excelsior Montreux, the owner of Chateau de Serre.
Holy crap, that is a white shirt. I'm being blinded by the light.
Oh, just wondering.
We just asked him about Montreux,
Priory
whether
can't
he's
get
Sion.
official
Remember
permission
Montreux,
to
he's the
excavate
vineyard
in the
owner with
area,
the
isn't that right?
weird robes in the
But so are the
attic.
Freemasons.
Yep, the Doctor Strange looking
Naturally,
motherfucker.
advantage
Yeah,
being
we just found out that
And
he's not
what
with the Priory of
exactly are
Sion.
you planning to excavate?
Oh, no
Far
shit.
more learned ears than yours have been denied that knowledge.
Really? Including yours? Have they told you what it is?
Really? Quel toupet.
Oh, this is a really funny part.
The Priory does have issues.
Not
with
this
Prince
part yet,
James,
but in the
though,
treasure
don't
part.
they? Political issues?
What could you understand about such matters? We have been working for centuries to get the bloodline on the throne of France. Do you know, we almost succeeded. Marie Antoinette was Desposny, and she had a son who would have been king. But the damned revolution ruined everything.
The Desposny, by the way, those were the
Yeah,
descendants of Jesus, if
revolutions
you
can
forgot.
really fuck up your long-term conspiracies. I take it the Priory don't like the idea of the Stuarts regaining power.
In Scotland, perhaps. Not in France. Not over the European Union. The Habsburg-Lorraines are a much more critical line. Besides, we could hardly accept a Scot on the throne.
I see your point. Oh, those bagpipes can get annoying.
Fuck you, Gabe. I love
So
bagpipes.
there really is a treasure?
You know what sounds awesome on
Well,
bagpipes?
so why don't you just
Star
go
Wars
in and take
music.
it?
Oh,
The
this next part.
Templars lived a long time ago.
You don't know where it is, do you?
There are certain disadvantages to keeping
I love that,
information
like
in
Gabe
the
just
hands of a
totally
chosen
cut through the
few.
bullshit. Like
When the French
even the
Revolution
Priory
occurred,
doesn't know where the treasure
Abbé
actually
here was
is.
the guardian. He was forced to flee to Spain. His records were lost for decades. Then Saunier rediscovered them. He was a greedy bastard, and he was tormented by the Great Secret. He offered fragments of the documents for exorbitant sums. He fabricated and destroyed evidence, and died without revealing what he knew.
That's why you've leaked information, isn't it? You hoped someone would solve the riddle for you.
There is a season for everything, and the season for the unveiling is coming very soon. One way or another, the treasure will come to light.
What is it you're so determined to unveil?
One day soon, you shall know. Now excuse me, Mr. Knight. Oh, and I
Now he just sounds like a
wish you
Bond
luck
villain.
finding the infant.
Yeah, and this is the part where he stops being at all relevant in the game. We do see him at the very end, though, for one last time, but yeah, Abbé Arnaud, complete red herring character, so he's not... He's basically here just to give us that bit of information.
I do appreciate your returning the manuscript, Mr. Knight.
If I'd known what Mr. Sinclair here was up to, I wouldn't have taken it in the first place.
For
Well, what's done?
Mr. Stiff Chin is not happy.
But I think it's time we had a serious
I've noticed that. He looks quite stiff.
And also, notice, Mesme is back, finally. We saw him in the comic book.
Consider yourself to be a bloodline
Yes, we did.
descendant, Prince James?
Well, it may sound foolish to you, but a belief in our lineage and the responsibility that it brings has been the most...
That is a weird tie on Prince James, like red and green, like you.
It's very 90s. It's like something Jim Carrey would wear.
It's very 90s and, like, not appropriate for colorblind people.
Response to Sinclair's manuscript, to its positioning you as the head of the bloodline.
It's not just the manuscript, but... Yes.
Have you received any demands from the kidnappers, or...
No. Look, I'm willing to give up my claim forever if that's what they want, as long as my son is safe. But we don't even know who to contact to make such a concession. The Priory swears they're not responsible, and no one else has come forward. My God, I'm at the end of my rope.
Perhaps it's not political.
If I let myself even consider that it might be the night visitors, I can't imagine what they would want with...
I'm sorry. I know how awful this is.
Poor guy.
Yep.
What are these negotiations between the Freemasons and the Priory about?
Because of our common heritage, there's certain wisdom and property that's shared. And now that the dispute over the bloodline heir is coming to a head, these things must be settled.
You're trying to get permits to excavate out here, aren't you?
I don't know where you heard such a thing. But I admit we have been hedging our bets, in case negotiations go badly.
What kind of property do the Freemasons have?
We have a few of the treasures that have always been sacred to the descendants of Moses.
Like what? The Ark of the Covenant? Something like that?
I'm not at liberty to say.
It's totally the
But
Ark of the
bloodline
Covenant.
treasures are dispersed.
I was
Whoever
totally
takes them out
expecting him to go,
in the
I'm
end
not
will
at
want
liberty to say it, and he does like a big wink at Gabriel.
What about the Priory? What do they have that you want?
The Priory controls the treasure the Templars couldn't take with them to Scotland because it was embedded in the very landscape.
The treasure of Rennes-le-Chateau?
Yes, but they're not to touch it until we've agreed on a treaty. You see, we have things they want too.
Ooh.
Does the grapevine motif mean anything to you? Viticulture in general?
That's a hell of a question to ask a man at this time of the day.
The wine of communion represents the blood of Jesus, and the grape represents his body. And the grapevine, in some circles, represents the desposony, the house of David. You have heard Jesus called the fruit of David, I assume?
Of course.
Where did you see such a motif, Mr. Knight?
Oh, it's in the church.
What about my son, Mr. Knight? I'm willing to tell you certain things.
You remember that I told you the story that how I started playing this game before I had read the comic? So I was a little confused about who's this Mesme guy here.
Right now.
Very well.
Although you do talk to him on the phone earlier.
We'll see you back here this evening then.
I remember that.
Absolutely. And, try not to worry.
I do appreciate your tenaciousness, Mr. Knight.
This is really funny.
Yeah? I've had shots for that, but never mind. I'll see.
I admire your tenaciousness. Yeah, I had shots for
An
that.
extraordinary man.
Oh, that's really funny. At least I think.
I sense.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I think those windows show
that looks
the
like a
secret
big
heart of
bloody eye.
Jesus. You gotta hand it to us Catholics, babe. We really know our anatomy.
It's a burning heart of Jesus. So, yeah.
That's a bad case of heartburn.
But I'm dish. Well, yeah, it's a classic Catholic motif. I think we are, I don't know what the hell am I doing in this part. I guess I'm just checking around.
Weirdly teleporting like the Slender Man.
Grace, but I realized, I think at this point, or I think I already knew that I still didn't have Lady Howard, no, we didn't have Estelle's fingerprints. So, here I am going to get Estelle's fingerprints from the water bottle. Now they've left it in the moped for some reason. They had it with them at the dig at first.
They must be opposed to littering.
Well, yeah, but still.
Got it.
Alright,
Yay,
yeah.
he got the prince.
It looks like an empty plastic water bottle to me. It's gotta be Estelle's.
Oh yeah, I skipped that line because we already had... He'd already said it in a previous part. But the line was that Lady Howard's lips have probably never touched plastic. Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna go talk to Grace and kind of sum up what we know so far. Yeah, I was thinking like I must have put it in here before, because I was recording for the final session of this Let's Play. I already luckily had Estelle's Prince, because this unlocks one last thing you can find out in the very final part where you play as Grace, which is the part coming up after this part, actually.
Ooh, so stay tuned, viewers.
Yep. I was not having a hard time finding Estelle's name. There's an interesting tidbit about Emilio. I'll say that later. But I had a look at the credits while I was finished playing the game, and I noticed that there were a lot of familiar voice actors I hadn't recognized yet.
Can we talk about the case for a minute?
Of course.
I've been thinking about our list of suspects. Larry and Prince James are Freemasons. The Abbé is Priory. I think we can cross them off.
Right. Bukele is Vatican, Madeline is French Internal Secret Service, and Mosley is, God help us, CIA.
Yeah, makes you think about renouncing your U.S. citizenship, doesn't it?
I've survived Gingrich, I can survive this. But anyway, it's starting to feel like the end of 10 Little Indians. There's hardly anybody left.
There's still Emilio and the two British gals.
Come on, they're harmless. Well, okay, they're not exactly harmless, from a sociological standpoint, but they are certainly not kidnappers. There's also Montreux. I deciphered Le Serpent Rouge, and it showed a red serpent on the map, with its tail wrapping right around Chateau de Serres. It really... well, it's pretty creepy.
I agree. He's our best suspect at the moment. I'll go check out Sarah's again. In the meantime, you keep an eye on Emilio, Lady Howard, and Estelle.
All right, but be careful.
All right, and some...
You've made some progress with Sydney, you said?
Yeah, I did. Several times.
Well, what'd you find out?
Oh, lots of stuff you probably don't care about. But it did help me find an entrance to an underground cave. I think Wilkes was onto it before he died.
That does sound promising. Maybe we can go over it later. I have a few...
Surprised I haven't made a Batcave reference in this whole Let's Play yet. I've made Riddler references, but not the Batcave.
I need to decide what it is I want to have happen.
Well, you may get your chance. No.
I don't want to screw up again.
Oh yeah, that whole last bit was Grace is now really like struggling with his thing with Grace, but that's the end of the episode. So when we come back next time, we'll go to de Serres and grill Montreux. Any last words?
Oh, I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited to see how this game ends.
All right, bye.